and welcome to FIA Pure Motorsport. On this week's episode, we're visiting the reigning ETRC champion, Norbert Kish. We'll take a look at why karting is the cradle of many great racing drivers. And we have spectacular hill climb action from Sternberg and much, much more from the FIA world of motorsport. The second stop of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship takes place at the Hungaroring. For reigning champion Norbert Kish, it's not only his home race, but the most important race of the year. Kish travels to Hungary as the overall leader. He's ahead of Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz. And the Hungarian lives up to his role as a favorite, celebrating two unchallenged lights to flag victories in races 1 and 3. In race 2, Kish starts from the fourth row in his red man truck. At the front are Andre Kurzim and Shane Brereton. A great getaway for Brereton, putting his nose in front of Kurzim. Down the inside line, number 55, Adam Lachko, brakes a little bit later than everybody else, pushing Steffi Halm into Andre Kurzim. And most of the field has to go wide outside the track limits. Unfortunately for those on the inside of the circuit, when they rejoin, a 5-wide scenario sees Norbert Kish thrown into the air. Albazet and Kurzim go off, Brereton hits the side of Lachko and takes Sascha Lenz out with him. Then there's even more contact between Anderson and Lachko. Theo Calvé is turned around, and in avoidance, Anderson and Kish both climb up the barrier. Understandably, the race is red flagged. The trucks of Antonio Albazet and Norbert Kish are heavily damaged, but luckily all the drivers are fine. After the cleanup, many trucks stay in the paddock and miss the restart. Only 10 trucks are on track. It's a much cleaner start this time. Shane Brereton is on the inside, overtaking Andre Kurzim for the lead. While Kurzim and Brereton fight for the top position, Adam Lachko takes advantage of this battle. He overtakes them both on the inside and is the new leader. A great move by the Czech. Then number 17, Shane Brereton, fights with Anthony Yannick for third place, and both go to the limit. Yannick presses through on the inside. Also number 2, Sascha Lenz, is in attack mode. First overtaking Steffi Halm, then easily the German passes Shane Brereton and Yannick, and then sets off to intercept Kurzim. Adam Lachko takes his first win of the season. Kurzim manages to stay out front of Lenz. Sascha Lenz with unbelievable consistency. At the 6th race, he's on the podium for the 6th time. The 4th and last race of the weekend sees at the start Theo Calvé and Steffi Halm in the first row. Adam Lachko and Norbert Kish are both back in the 4th row. After the first corner, Kish has already moved up to 6th position and a little later on would move into 4th place. Jochen Hahn has shifted up to 2nd position right behind Theo Calvé. Then Kish attacks Kurzim and easily passes the German driver. Norbert Kish now in 3rd position and looking very fast. Next up for the Hungarian, Jochen Hahn. With 9 titles in between them, they know each other inside out. A couple of laps later, Kish is in attack mode. A great move from Kish against the eternal rival, and to the delight of the Hungarian fans, he is now in 2nd position. Now he just has Theo Calvé in front of him, and he quickly puts pressure on the young French driver. But the Frenchman has a technical problem. It seems like either a malfunction of the brakes or steering force him to retire. While Kish extends his lead, a thrilling battle for 3rd place develops between Adam Lachko and Sascha Lenz. Lachko stays aggressive and pushes Lenz to the outside and then passes him on the inside. but Lenz holds his own. Lachko, however, has the better position and secures a place on the podium. Norbert Kish wins his third race this weekend. After 2 third-place finishes, Jochen Hahn with a good second place, Adam Lachko with another podium finish. 3 wins in front of his home fans. A great weekend for Norbert Kish, extending his lead in the championship to 18 points. Sascha Lenz swaps places with Jochen Hahn. Norbert Kish is a star. Hungarian motorsports fans love the 3-time European truck racing champion. Thousands of them flock to the Hungaro ring to cheer on Norbert at his home race.
People keep telling me that they are so proud of us that we can do this and we can achieve this success in a European championship. That it's really nice to hear, and I think basically this is it, that they just love the sports and love when Hungary is winning.
But it's also very special for Kish to be successful in front of his fellow Hungarians.
It was really an emotional moment, you know, when you can win your home race and you have a crowd like that on the grandstands, and then you can hear your national anthem as a winner. It's always an emotional moment.
Moments that don't leave the professional untouched. Norbert Kish has celebrated almost 70 wins in his truck racing career. The European champion from 2014, 15, and 21 has reached the zenith of his creative art, but as a child, he wanted to reach even higher.
I really wanted to be an astronaut when I was young, because I was born in '85, and in my childhood, you know, the space shuttles was going like kind of often, and we were always looking at that, and it was, you know, something that for a child is quite unbelievable. So, you know, I wanted to be an astronaut, obviously.
Norbert Kish fulfilled his second childhood dream. He managed to build a professional racing career. Nowadays, he earns his living with truck racing. This was only possible because there are 2 Norbert Kish, the private person and the racing driver. The only thing they have in common is their straightforwardness.
You know, I wouldn't want to lie to you, you know. So probably I'm not the best guy, you know, in the whole world. But I try to be the best self of myself, and I try to do good for the people around me, you know, and you know, try to cooperate with the people who I meet, and you know, I try to have a good relationship with everybody.
But in the driver's cap, Dr. Jekyll becomes Mr. Hyde.
As a racing driver, I am for sure aggressive. I go for the win. When I was young, I was a big Ayrton Senna fan as well when I was really young, you know, so I never forget, you know, if there is the gap and you don't go for the gap, you are not a race car driver anymore. And this is something that I live by in my racing career, you know, and if there's a gap, for sure I will go for it, you know, because I love racing.
That's another reason why the 37-year-old still has lots of plans. In truck racing, you can still win races in your mid-50s, but Norbert Kish still dreams of other challenges.
I hope that still in my racing career, I maybe can try a GT3 race car and maybe do a Le Mans 24 or like a Nürburgring Nordschleife 24-hour race. That's something that is really, let's call it a dream for me.
That would be amazing, not only for him, but also for his fans. The third stop of the Italian F4 Championship is a special one. For the first time, the series races on the Formula 1 circuit of Spa-Francorchamps. There will be 38 drivers from 23 nations fighting for points in 3 races. All the drivers fighting for the top positions will confirm their presence, while Alex Dunn will try to regain the lead over Rafael Camara. Meanwhile, Andrea Kimi Antonelli will try to climb up the standings. In race 1, Andrea Kimi Antonelli is on the left and has pole position. The 15-year-old Italian is surrounded by his fellow team members. 4 Prima drivers fill the top 4 positions. Antonelli comes under immediate pressure from teammate James Wharton, who attempts to go around Antonelli's outside, entering Les Combes, and briefly bounces over the curbs, sweeps across the track while Antonelli is bulked behind him. That allows row 2 starters Rafael Camara and Charlie Wurz to move past, and US Racing's Marcus Amanda as well. Antonelli falls back to 5th place. The Kemmel Straight is almost 1 kilometer long and it is perfect for overtaking. The slipstream plays a big role in this. Wurz and Amand try to catch Camara. While Wurz stays on track, Amand has to take the escape road, and the 4 Prima cars are in front once again. While Brazilian Rafael Camara is able to pull away, his 3 teammates are fighting for 2nd place. They carry great speed out of Eau Rouge. Wurz, Wharton, Antonelli, in this order, they head for the 3rd time into the Kemmel Straight. Wharton has to fend off a double attack. Wurz comes alongside him on the outside, and Antonelli utilizes the double slipstream to get on the inside. The pair clears Wharton on the straight, then Antonelli does Wurz under braking for Les Combes. Antonelli back in 2nd place. Now in the clear, Antonelli sets the fastest lap as he tracks down Camara. He gets into Camara's gearbox through Eau Rouge, then takes the lead from him on the following straight. He immediately moves to the inside to prevent Camara coming back at him. He then romps off into the distance to win by 4.83 seconds. An important win for the Italian after a great race. Rafael Camara secures a 2nd place finish, and James Wharton finishes in 3rd position. Again, an all-Prima podium. After a safety car phase, the 2nd race of the weekend is dominated by the duel between Rafael Camara and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. It's a classic slipstream fight. The Brazilian wins the first encounter and takes the lead. Then the Italian surprises him and passes on the inside of the hairpin bend after the start-finish straight. Antonelli stays ahead until cleverly giving the lead back, entering the bus stop chicane at the end of the lap, giving him the tow down the next straights. He goes to the outside of Camara as they reach Les Combes and again goes off, but this time Camara isn't giving him room, and so Antonelli doesn't concede the position gain, a lead he no longer relinquishes. In the end, he wins his 2nd race just ahead of Alex Dunn. Nikita Bedrin comes in 3rd. In race 3, Antonelli celebrates a lights to flag victory and completes an unbeaten weekend. With the 3 wins in Spa, he closes the gap on Rafael Camara in the overall standings and is now only 3 points behind the Brazilian. The 78th Orland Rally Poland was the 4th stop of the FIA European Rally Championship. Poland's Miko Marczyk secured an emotional home victory. Together with his co-pilot Simon Gospodarczyk, he celebrates his first ERC win. The 3rd overall finisher from last year's ERC took a 20.4 second advantage into Sunday's final leg. But he hit some trouble when his Fabia Rally 2 EVO scooped up some gravel on special stage 12, causing the water temperature to rocket as he nursed his car to finish in road mode. In the end, he was just 10 seconds ahead of Tom Christensen. The second place finish was his best ever for the young Swede. Third place finisher Ken Torn from Estonia was able to celebrate his first podium finish at this level. The second stop of the FIA European Autocross Championship took place in Lithuania. French driver David Mayat won the cross car category, the first win of the new season for the reigning champion. With his second place finish, Juan Jose Hernandez gained the lead in the overall standings. Arnost Florian celebrated his second win of the season in the junior buggy category. The Czech driver now has a comfortable 13-point lead in the overall standings. After his success in the first race, Markus Wibbeler celebrated a great second place in Lithuania. The German was only beaten in the buggy 1600 category by Dutchman Bart van der Putten. Bernd Stuber was not only outstanding in the qualifying heats, but also unstoppable in the final of the super buggy category. The German driver won by more than 3 seconds and took the lead in the overall standings. The Ecce Homo Sternberg hill climb race in the Czech Republic is the fourth stop of the season and one of the classics of the FIA European Hill Climb Championship. This high-speed course is 7,800 meters long and extremely demanding. Of the 89 drivers who took part in the FIA competitions, the favorites prevailed in the end in both the closed car and competition cars. Austrian Karl Chagall celebrated his third victory of the season in his VW Golf Rally TFSI. In the competition cars, local hero Peter Trinka put up a great fight against the big favorite Christian Merli. In the end, it was only enough for second place, though. The reigning champion from Italy remains undefeated. Christian Merli impressed with an average speed of 176 kilometers per hour and improved his own course record from last year. Karting is the foundation for a successful career in motorsports. It's the primary school for all racing drivers. Those drivers who have just taken the next steps and are new to Formula 4 and Formula Regional know the value of their time in the kart. Eduardo Barrichello and Sebastian Montoya are sons of Formula 1 drivers. They inherited their talent but learned their skills in karting.
Yeah, I think karting is a good beginning because it teaches you a lot of the basics about driving and like just how to perform, basically, how to do a whole qualifying laps together and how race pace works and stuff like this. Racing is very crucial, and in karting you learn a lot about that since you race so often and there's so many heat races preparing you for the final. And yeah, I think that's just the basis, and the better you are in karting, you have a better base and it makes it easier in cars.
Well, karting is really fast. And it's really competitive as well. It's where you get into racing and you basically learn everything in karting, and then when you go to cars you just basically have to learn some of the stuff, but racecraft, starts, being fast, you learn that in karting. So I think it's really a big point. You have to do karting if you want to be a good driver.
Most youngsters start very early and are already very well trained when they take the plunge into single-seater racing. Raffaele Gimaria is the director of the Scuola Federale ACI Sport, the driving school of the Italian Federation. He and his colleagues try to help young drivers to go to the next step from karting to single-seater racing.
The previous lap, when we arrived there was the same. The step is not so high coming from go-kart, because now the karting drivers that take part at the Czech FIA race or the WSK race, Also the national championship are really well prepared, so they are the professional drivers also if they are 12, 13 or 14. So to be honest, in the last 5-6 years I met in the school really well prepared drivers.
Also, thanks to the FIA Karting Academy Trophy was created in 2010. This original concept is still very relevant today. It's about challenging 51 young talents between 12 and 14 years of age from all over the world every year so that the best have the opportunity to be noticed and to pursue their career in karting or in motorsport with greater opportunities. Formula One drivers Charles Leclerc, George Russell, and Esteban Ocon are former participants. Then the youngsters race in the OK Junior and OK categories. Andrea Kimi Antonelli has been racing since he was 8. He was 2-time European champion in the OK class. Now the 15-year-old is racing in his first season in the Italian F4 Championship, and with great success, he won 5 of his 9 races.
I feel in karting is the best school, especially when you do a step to cars. And yeah, I mean for me it's the most important things to do before going into a car.
All drivers are of course proud to have taken the next step, and still they miss their time on the kart racing tracks.
The atmosphere you get with your friends, it's not as serious as Formula racing. In karting, at the end of the day, if you have a bad day, you can just go with your mates and start playing football, and you just kind of forget about the whole thing if it was a bad day. And if it was a good day, you can go out with your friends and be happy because it was a good day.
Growing up in karting makes for many happy days and memories, but also in your future career as a racing driver. At the halfway point of the 2022 season, the OK and OK Junior drivers descend on the Kristianstad Karting Club in Sweden. Here the focus is more on technical skill as the circuit has more braking zones, more overtaking spots, and even the odd thrill-seeking jump. The drivers affectionately call this place the roller coaster. The competition is very open in OK Junior. After 2 stops, Nathan Tai is in the lead, but neither he nor second overall Dmitry Matveyev have a good start position in the final in Sweden. Guillaume Bouzard of Luxembourg has the pole, and next to him is Anatoly Kavalkin. Bouzard in the black and red kart leads from the start with the inside line, getting the best launch, but Kavalkin keeps himself in the fight just behind Przowski, with Luis Werrell and Tizanio Monza close behind. Monza decides to move up early with a turn 5 overtake on Werrell, then Kavalkin with the black helmet overtakes Przowski for second place. As Kavalkin steals back the race lead, Tarvanitskul is on the move up to 4th ahead of Monza, but only just as Werrell tries to seize his own chance. Anatoly Kavalkin was so close on several occasions, but now is at least able to seal the victory. Przowski finishes second, Bouzard in 3rd position. Heading into the final next month, the championship stays wide open. Nathan Tai is just 4 points ahead of Anatoly Kavalkin. Dmitry Matveyev is 3rd. After wins in Portugal and Spain, Joe Turney, with maximum points thus far, could become European champion as early as this weekend. In the overall standings, the British driver leads by 28 points ahead of Enzo Delinghi. However, in the final, Joe Turney starts back in 11th, and pole position goes to Keen Nakamura Berta, who can clinch the lead of the championship if he stays there. Nakamura Berta makes a great start initially from Stoltzmanis and Powell, but then disaster as the Japanese driver has to take to the grass over the chicane. As Powell moves ahead of Orloff and Gali, Stoltzmanis drops to 5th with pressure from Tuukka Taponen. On the next lap, Powell takes advantage of the dirty tires of his teammate and snatches the lead to lead his first OK final in FIA Karting. Orlov is joining him in 2nd place. With his successful move on Gali, Joe Turney continues his run of damage limitation to score some points and consolidate his championship lead. Up front, Alex Powell leads in front of Nakamura Berthe and Stolz Meines. That means that the young man raised in Trinidad and Tobago is representing his native Jamaica is about to change the course of history as Alex Powell becomes the first ever Caribbean to win in the FIA karting paddock, a landmark moment for Jamaica and the entire region. With this win, Powell jumps to third place in the overall standings. Nakamura closes the gap on Turney to 9 points. That's it for today. On our next episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, we'll introduce you to Formula Regional driver Hamda Al-Kubaizi. We'll also visit the next stop of the FIA European Autocross Championship, and we'll have a look at the future Rally Stars. Till next time, take care everybody, and ciao.
We're at Donington Park for the 6th round of the FIM Sidecar World Championship. We're on the World Superbike stage. Massive crowd yesterday here, and it was only practice. So a lot coming up, 2 races ahead of us. Todd Ellis has a very narrow championship lead, and bear in mind, the final round in Portugal carries double points. Yes, indeed, and those double points might well turn out to be crucial because coming here round 6, a 16-point advantage over the defending champions Schlosser and Fries. That's carried by Ellis Clement. Kershaw Charwood a strong third. Wiesen, Ted Peugeot actually got delayed at customs, so the poor young Frenchman doesn't make it. But Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement really strong on pole position. And back here, 2019, they went round in a 1:36.702. The conditions here extremely hot. Harry Payne, Mark Wilkes going very well in qualifying as well, as indeed Steve Kershaw had a bit of a nervous hiccup in free practice, but he qualified well. Kevin Cable, Chaz Richardson still have an unsolved problem. But race 1 got underway. It was never going to be a short, sharp dash because these are long GP races, but alongside Todd Ellis, it was Markus Schlosser and Marcel Fries, and the yellow and black, when the lights went out, the Swiss guy shot down the right-hand side, got his nose in front, but Todd Ellis cut back in immediately at Redgate, went through underneath to assume control at the front. Harry Payne, Mark Wilkes were there in third. The Quattro, Yamaha, Steve Kershaw, Ryan Charwood were bashing fairings with the Christie brothers, who broke away and then moved on Payne into third place. So Sam and Tom Christie, number 34, went really well in this opening race. Kershaw finding himself with a bit of work to do, but of course a lack of track knowledge, not having done as many laps as the others in free practice would have hampered him. Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement pulled out quite a gap in the opening stages of the race. The rest of the field in very close formation. Lucas Wiesen, Thomas Hoffer on the back of the bunch there, the blue and white number 41 outfit. But then Schlosser got his act together, got his head down, and appeared to be winding in Ellis. But Christie had other ideas, moved through at the Melbourne hairpin into second place, would you believe? My goodness me, the Christie boys are having a stellar season, and they were having a great time here at Donington Park. No quarter arse, none given, locked up the rear brake a little bit going into Goddard's, and that allowed Schlosser to regain second place with Harry Payne and Kershaw, line astern, Kershaw and Charwood in fifth. Sam and Tom Christie on the CES Services Yamaha having a strong ride here, but Harry Payne saw an opportunity and moved through underneath the Christies to slot into third place, and he made the move stick. Kershaw apparently was going with him, but Christies closed the door on Steve Kershaw and Ryan Sharwood, but he would live to fight another day, and come back he did. Up the inside, into fourth place went Kershaw and Sharwood. Harry Payne, meanwhile, had aspirations to get past the reigning and defending champions, the Swiss pair on the Gustoil Yamaha. Lap times very, very fast round here. Hot weather, big sticky Avons doing their job. Lucas Wiesen, Thomas Hofer still there, very much in touch. Kershaw moving out on Harry Payne. No, Harry Payne managed to hold off on the brakes. He and Mark Wilkes very strong, just getting better all the time. Kershaw and Sharwood, though, were fast here. They wanted it. They knew that their speed had been building throughout the World Championship season, and they sensed a good result here at Donington Park on the Quattro Yamaha. Benny Stroud, Kevin Kolsch were fighting off the number 41 Gustoil Yamaha of Lucas Wiesen. Benny Stroud not having the best ride in this opening race. We know he's capable of quicker than that, and indeed Lucas Wiesen was to pass the former world champion and move ahead one more place up the standings. So that was into sixth place for Lucas Wiesen at that moment. Sam and Tom Christie, having dropped back a little bit, having a fairly strong ride here, but trailing Kershaw and Harry Payne. But at this moment, ahead of Benny Stroyer, who had got past Lucas Wiesen again, and these two were having a battle royal, but Stroyer was to prevail at the end of the day and at the finish. Into pit lane came Rupert Archer and Steve Thomas. Very hot conditions here. The rate of attrition not high, actually. It wasn't a big grid, but at the front, these three were now really bunched together. Marcus Schlosser had closed to within a couple of bike lengths of Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. He meant business. And it was clear as they approached Goddard's for the last time that Schlosser really wanted it. Ellis kept the door closed. Can he, Todd Ellis? Great job. Checkered flag being waved. It's his victory in race one. Went to Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement from the defending champions, extending that points lead by a further 5, with Kershaw Charwood third, completing the podium. Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes brought it home fourth. The Chris's, what a race those boys had had. And after them, Benny Stroyer managed to get the better of Lucas Wiesen to complete it and come home 6th ahead of the Gustoil number 41 Yamaha, who in turn was ahead of Rob Biggs and Jake Lowther. Well, that was a good race, and that was only race one. More coming up, of course. Confirmation of the result. Ellis, Schlosser, Kershaw. Podium, just 1.1 seconds splitting the top three. Payne, Christie, Stroyer, Wiesen, Biggs, Cable, Legurn. Kevin Cable did well. That's the podium. A massive crowd here, of course. World Superbike weekend as race 2 comes to the line. Pole position again, Todd Ellis, race 1 winner. And he and Emmanuel Clement then now 21 points in the lead in the World Championship. This round 6 of 8, 2 more to go, 4 more races, 5 including this one. Double points at Estoril in the final round. A great ride by Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes. Can they go one better this time and make it to the podium? I wonder. The sun beating down here, track temperature very, very high, ambient temperature very high as well. And as the teams leave the grid, another long, long stretch in these conditions. Watch the lights, top left of the picture. Todd Ellis, there Harry Payne, and to the right, out of vision, but you can see him now. The Gustoil Yamaha, Marcus Schlosser, who gets a cracking start down into Redgate then. The Swiss pairing get the drop. Kershaw moving through into third on Harry Payne. Kershaw and Charwood on the Quattro Yamaha, looking for second. Almost a bit of fairing kissing there, but they are looking. They're in third. They've got the nose in front. Harry Payne wants it. He's kept it. Down into Craner curves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outfits line astern. Throw on the inside then. Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement. Right down into, there's a problem there for Schlosser. Down into third. Harry Payne up to second. And now still a problem. Up to third goes Kershaw. Kershaw and Charlwood into third place. Sweeping down then and up towards Coppice. What a start for Todd Ellis. What a start for Schlosser, but something went wrong. He went from first to fourth in one fell swoop on the opening lap. Harry Payne, Mark Wilkes coming into the S's, looking for a good result here. They've just got better and better and better on the Dow 1886 Yamaha. And unbeknown to these crews, the club manager for Dow 1886 has put £2,000 on the table, but Benny Stroyer won't get it because Kevin Kolsch has exited stage left. They got going again, but that's really put any pay to a successful race for them. At the front though, undeterred, Todd Ellis, unaware of what went on behind. £2,000. Harry Payne didn't know that before the start, but somebody might have sent him a WhatsApp message. I don't know. He's up the front now. He's in front, and that is incredible. They lead. Payne and Wilkes lead. Ellis and Clement, first race winners. Third place in very close company, Kershaw and Charlwood. Fourth place in equally close company, it's Schlosser and Fries. Have to pause now to get a drop of something, a drop of liquid into me. Job done, I'm refreshed. Into the pits then. Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kolsch, obviously that tumble from the outfit. The young man looking okay, but I'm quite sure he will have rolled down the tarmac and maybe damaged a little bit of his personality. Doesn't stop them at the front. Look at Ellis on the inside, up towards the S's, but Harry Payne very canny, very late on the brakes. My goodness me, how this young man from the Isle of Man has learned his craft in such a short time. Ellis then, look at Kershaw. Kershaw now really, really close. They are so close. It really is a 12-wheeler, a 9-wheeler, I beg your pardon. A 12-wheeler if Schlosser comes up to play. But three outfits so very close. Into Goddard's, round they go. Away down the straight then. Ellis, the quickest man round Donington Park, coming to this round, but that's all going to go out of the window, I can assure you. In these conditions, Kershaw and Charlwood still in third, but hungry for it. Looking backwards from the race leaders. Schlosser still back up the top, down into Craner curves they go. Out of Hollywood, Craner, down towards the old hairpin. They are at it now. The right-hander of the old hairpin, Harry Payne. Scary moment there, but got away with it. Schlosser still hanging on grimly in fourth. Well, what a craftsman he's been. Reigning champion, of course, coming here, but he can see it slipping away. But he does have the knowledge of that double points in Estoril when 50 are on the table for each of the two races. That could put a totally different complexion on things. Harry Payne, Mark Wilkes, number 45. Still firmly in second, but they aspire to go one better, I can tell you. Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement, is it going to be another double for them? They've done it already. They did it in Spa. They did the double in Spa. Is it going to happen here? Kershaw Charlwood through on Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes at the Melbourne hairpin. Up to second then, Steve Kershaw. He and Ryan Charlwood have been getting better and better and better. The red and white outfit. Small team, they travel together. They have a bit of a family concern going on, but they get on very well socially. It's important. Whereas Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement, on the other hand, part of a two-bike team, a much bigger setup, but of course Todd's stepfather Gary Bryan, very much a supporting role in the pits, helping them put the bike together. The Christie boys in there fighting hard. Rob Biggs, Jake Lowther, number 5. Jake jumping in for the day and doing an admirable job. Rupert Archer, Steve Thomas going well this time. In the back of the picture, Kevin Cable, Charlie Richardson, the 111 crew on the L&W Contractors. Look how close these are now. Bunching up again, Schlosser. Schlosser and Fries can only hope that something goes wrong at the front and throws them some crumbs, because at the moment they are firmly entrenched in 4th place. Look at Kershaw. Kershaw then having a look here. And what a look it is. It's a very impressive look. Taking the lead at the Melbourne hairpin. Through on the inside of Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. And neck they go up towards, trying to return the compliment. Ellis and Clement. Still it's Kershaw there. A long way to go in this race still. Harry Payne, a look over the shoulder. That was very Tim Reeves-esque, that look over the shoulder, just to see where Schlosser is, but he's safely out of distance, Harry. Look in front. What you need to do now is close down that 2nd place outfit. Nobody needs to tell him that. He's already got that sussed, I'm sure. Another swig from my glass. It's very hot here in the commentary box, and it's equally hot out there on track, I can assure you. Well, terrific racing here. Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes still hanging on in 3rd. Kershaw, Charlwood doing an admirable job out there. Oh, retirement for Rob and Jake. The 2nd of the Santander Salt Cabelco bikes into pit lane with a mechanical. Schlosser now well and truly dropped away. Ellis and Kershaw are going at it hammer and tongs for victory here. Emmanuel Clement just doing an amazing job. Archer and Thomas also out of it. The heat, the pace, the duration taking its toll here on men and or machinery. Well, can Kershaw keep Todd Ellis at bay? We've seen so many times how that young man can make moves late into the race. But Kershaw seems to have gapped him. Pulled out a bit here. Oh, this is Schlosser. Schlosser. Oh, that's a catastrophe for the defending champion. Schlosser into pit lane with a mechanical problem. I have no idea what that is. You can only imagine what's going on. Marcel Fries puts a hand in the air. I don't know, he said. Schlosser shakes his head, waving his hands. The body language telling us everything. Something's wrong here, guys. Until we get the fairing off, we don't know. But what that's done is handed these two at the front all the playing field in the world. They've got Donington Park to go and play, and they are playing for very high stakes. The 2022 FIM Sidecar World Championship, the ultimate stake, and through goes Ellis. Through goes Ellis on Kershaw. Will Kershaw take that line down? I think not. Closing. Down again into the Melbourne hairpin, repaying the compliment. So that's twice he's overtaken to go ahead. Is there going to be another spin of the dice here as they come up to Goddard's this time? Still a fair bit of racing to do here before they and we see the checkered flag. Down to Redgate. Is it going to be here that Todd Ellis pulls another move? Looking at the inside, but Kershaw's been around a while. Very canny Scot, knows what it takes to keep people at bay, and he's going to need all of that track craft and more going into the last lap if, and it's a very big if, he's in the same position. They've now gapped Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes, who are safely, if safe is a word you can use in the world of sidecar racing, in a 3rd place. Kershaw just popping the sidecar wheel up, coming out of Starkey's there and up into Schwantz. Up at Coppice, double apex right-hander here. First apex done and dusted, there's the second one. And now onto the main straight, heads down, everyone tucked in. Ryan Charlwood making himself as small as possible up to the Ellis S's. I'm going to call it the Ellis S's. That was a Freudian slip, but I'm going to make it stick because he made it stick. the foggy S's for Ellis to make the move, but just then it was the Ellis S's. At the Melbourne hairpin, Kershaw going the long way round. Is he going to have something up his sleeve coming into Goddard's? He's on the right line, but there's no way through there. He's going to have to leave it for Redgate if indeed he's close enough. Kershaw Charlwood. Ellis will have to ride a defensive line here. Here comes Kershaw, here comes Kershaw. He's going to run in on the brakes, and he does, but he's got to keep it tight all the way through to stop down to Hollywood. Here they are, Hollywood now, and then sweeping round into the Craner curves. The right of Craner, across to the left, clipping the dry, weather-beaten grass, and we've had some hot weather in the UK over the last few days. The World Superbike crowd here at Donington Park enthralled by this one. The grandstand still packed. It's still full. A lot of people have made their way home after 3 enthralling World Superbike races, but an awful lot have stayed for this one, and it's top-class sidecar racing at the front. Ellis looking there. He wants double victory here. He wants 25 more points. His pit board will have told him that Schlosser is out of the running. Kershaw, third place in the championship coming here, is going to do himself a power of good if he can bag 25 points here. And he's got every intention of so doing. He's got to keep it tight because Ellis is going to throw everything at it in the closing stages. And on the exit of the Melbourne hairpin, he's up the inside now. Kershaw has got to keep it tight here. Ellis is not going to ask for an invitation. He's got to keep it tight. Here they come then. Down towards a look over the shoulder from Kershaw. Where is it? There it is. Victory for Kershaw Charlwood. Checkered flag for them. And what an amazing result for them. Third place, final place on the podium to Harry Payne and Mark Wilkes. And it will be fourth for Sam and Tom Christie. The outfit in view there was the French outfit, the sole French surviving outfit. The other guys, of course, turned away at customs. Le Guin and Ruby in 7th place. Kershaw, Ellis, Payne, podium. Christie's, what a race they had. Wiesen, Cable, Le Guin and Ruby with Stroyer and Kulch a DNF.
Yeah, that was a lot better than yesterday. Big thanks to Dean Ryder locally. He's helped us make a gear lever just this morning, ran out to him, so that's made the job much better, and we managed to get to the end of the race. It's a little bit fatigued there, but we've been struggling this season with race pace and keeping going, so yeah, that was a real result for us.
I thought that I couldn't gap Steve and that, and I thought, shall I sit behind him and just carry the safe points and that? But I thought, no, it's on telly, let's make a good race of it. It's what people come here to see. So I had a good race and, yeah, tried to make a race of it, but keep it clean at the same time.
Steve Kershaw, Ryan Charlwood, first of all, what an amazing race. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a fantastic race with Todd and Harry. It was just brilliant to be a part of it, and all the more for winning it as well. It was awesome.
He came past you and you retook the lead, certainly twice, maybe even 3 times. Absolutely amazing. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was good. With the confidence in the bike now to be able to just, let the brakes off and retake the pass again. And it's what a feeling. It's great racing. Fair, hard, but really fair racing at the top level, and just fantastic. Massive shout out to Quattro, our title sponsor. John and Bob are here this weekend, and we could not do it without them, and we're so grateful.
Well, there it is, 255-214. That's a big gap now, isn't it? Kershaw right up there now, up Schlosser's exhaust pipe, if you'll pardon the expression. Wiesen, Payne, Stroyer, Ted Peugeot there. We hope we see him in Germany. Well, the teams have gone off to celebrate post-podium, but what an amazing 2 races we've had here at Donington Park. The championship now looking even more secure for Todd Ellis as his main rival, retired in that race, but who knows? 4 more races and double points at the end of the season. Anything still can happen. It's all up for grabs. Join us for round 7.